Welcome to the Women Seen and Heard podcast. Want to become a more confident presenter and conference speaker? Meet Anita Perez-Ferguson and Lois Phillips, who are the co-authors of the Women Seen and Heard Speakers Journal, and they want to share what they've learned about women's speaking styles from their professional speaking careers. In each weekly podcast, they'll select and take turns responding to one prompt taken from the speaker's journal. In the closing moment, they offer a simple single tip you can put to use right away. Enjoy.
Anita, here's a question from the chapter that addresses planning your presentation, advising, have a strategy in mind. List the ways in which you're a legitimate expert on a subject you care about. Include your community involvement, studies, work, travel, academic know-how, publications, awards, honors, and any other accomplishments.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the best ways that I've found to plan to establish myself as an expert on the topic is through the introduction that I actually give to the program MC. You know, you'll never get a second chance to make a great first impression. If there is an introduction that doesn't speak to your expertise, then you lose an opportunity. Now, sometimes there's no formal introduction, and you have to integrate your skills and experience into your presentation or throughout the comments in the question and answer period. But in your planning, it's your job to prepare an introduction for the MC. Don't leave anything to chance. Then you get a copy of that to that MC, and you let them know why it's integral to your presentation. The Master of Ceremonies, after all, is a part of the group and already has their credibility. So that individual gives you a seal of approval when they read that introduction full of your qualifications. Make sure to include only those key elements that are relevant to your topic and the audience for the day. Other notable accomplishments can be, casually dropped into your comments or in the Q&A session. I have a funny experience. On one occasion, I spoke to a group about environmental issues and how simple household changes could help slow the overflow issues in our local landfill. Well, it made sense. At the time, I was on the City Planning Commission, and this was one of the real hot-button issues. So I shared my expertise as a planner and made all my points, but I'll tell you, it wasn't until I eventually worked my way around to casually mentioning my tours of the White House gardens when I worked in Washington, D.C. as a White House liaison that my audience actually began to perk up and pay extra attention to my comments. So here's my tip. When you customize your introduction and remarks to your topic and audience, you always have the opportunity to give them just a little more of a glimpse into your experience by what you happen to say along the way. The stories that you tell, and maybe even by explaining a pin or a button that you happen to be wearing that day on your lapel. When that preparation for delivery comes up first in your introduction, and then you begin to remember the importance of sharing your expertise with your audience, you'll be able to make the type of impression you want to do on that subject matter. Remember that this podcast schedule is found for Women Seen and Heard on Facebook.